Good morning. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it now, Fitness Fairy. So, some things came up because it is Black History Month, and I wanted to deal with some issues that I've been struggling with as a woman of color. So, my daughter, she's a huge influence in my life, and she said, "Mother, what happened to your generation? Why didn't you guys do more to clean up the racism and the position that people of color, especially Black people, Black Americans, are in, and things that still keep happening from years ago?" And as I explained this to her, and she already knows, generational trauma. Being enslaved, those ancestors went through so much trauma that trauma keeps coming back over and over, and it shows up in different forms, different formats, different emotions. My position in the world with my mom was very challenging because she had gone through so much. So a lot of us, especially generation baby boomers and generation X, I believe I am. I have to check that. I still don't know. Born in the 60s, 1961. Right before Martin Luther was killed, the Kennedys were killed. It was a lot of stressful things happening to my parents. We were poor. My dad was gone a lot. My mother was working a lot, and then she became ill. So all of that takes a toll. So for me, the way I dealt with it, I just left the country. It was just easier just to leave it all behind. But then guess what? It kind of leaves it, and it does leave it on the next generation and the next generation and next generation, because we haven't dealt with the racism. We haven't dealt with the poverty, the abuse, the enslaved, reparations. We haven't dealt with so many things because it was much easier for me to be as close or in close proximity to whites, or so I thought. So my life would be easier, but it was just a mask. It was fake. It's not easier. It's different. It's different. You're out of the neighborhoods where you're going to be more stressed out. You're away from poverty, or so you think. But your family's, no one's really safe. So now that we're dealing with a lot of these issues, I would say for those of you who can't really handle this anymore, I know in the South where I'm from, even if bad things happen in families, or bad things happen, or people are being jailed at ridiculous amounts, and people, Black people, especially young Black men and Black men, are being jailed rather rapidly. They all believe that it's their fault, that the system isn't doing anything to create this scenario when it actually is. The system is working exactly as planned. And now that we have the information, and I don't think a lot of our young kids don't realize, I don't have a master's degree in Black studies. I wouldn't know about 90% of the stuff that I've learned on TikTok about who we are as Black people, from adventures, from laser eye surgery, navigation in the car, internet, algorithms, all created by people of color. We stay with the basic ones: stoplight, peanut, Martin Luther King. That's what it's so frustrating to learn how brilliant a people we are so late in my life, but I still got time now. I still got time to make a difference. You can still make a difference. I don't know if I can be a advocate at all times, doing marches and doing all these things that my daughter does, but I know that I can be there. I can be present. I can give money. I can support the creators who are fighting against this. I can make my voice be known. So I'm asking all of my sisters and my brothers out there, make your voice be known in some way. Let the universe know what you stand for or what you stand against. And that's what this Let's Talk About It Now is about. Just basically recognizing what happened, how it happened, how it still keeps happening, and how we're going to fix it. And facing the reality that we still have a lot of work in this country. We have a lot of work, mental health, and that's mainly what this channel is about. But you can't deal with mental health until you deal with the generational trauma. And the trauma goes back to the enslaved. So we got to go back to our ancestors, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Mali, Ivory Coast. We got to call on those ancestors to help us now to finally make immediate change in America so people who are living here who are traumatized through generational trauma can figure out how to fix it. We got to go to the source. Again, that's my TED Talk for Sunday. February was Days Day. No, February 19th. Okay, that was it. Or maybe it's the 20th. I hope that helps somebody. That's all it's meant to do. Maybe help one person, okay? And from all my people in Mississippi, I love you. Hang in there. Recognize that you're not alone in whatever you're going through. We all went through a lot of trauma, and we're just here, just doing our best. And our best is so good. Our best is like 1,000. Our best is like 1,000,000. You know, you think you're doing something very minimal, and you're doing amazing things, okay? Mirka, I'm coming to tape you next, okay? All right, love you. Have a beautiful week. Bye-bye.